So there's a lot of stuff that's said about when she gets back, about what happens when she gets back to England. But one of the things that we know absolutely at this point has already happened is while her and Ethelred have been in Normandy, a young man called Edmund Ironside has started to show that he's quite skilled and he's quite clever and he's not like Ethelred at all. And this is the last Wessex king, and all of a sudden all the political machinery that's atrophied under Ethelred starts to come back alive for this Edmund Ironside. Now, there's a lot of stuff about rivalries and stuff, and you can't really, because there's a paucity of evidence, but what we do know is the very first thing that Emma did when she got back to England was she made her son, who was then to be Edward the Confessor, a ward of Edmund Ironside. So she has definitely made alliances of some sort here. Now, we don't know what happens next, because there is a paucity of evidence, but if it ever comes out that Emma was the reason that Edmund Ironside rose up against Ethelred, that wouldn't surprise me. And Ethelred is dead fairly quickly, as he deserves to be. This is very brutal politics. I hate to say it, the fat one was useless. And he'd made this mess. Now, during this period, Edmund Ironside puts up a bit of a show, and all the Wessex machinery comes back into action, and all of a sudden, there's actual machinery here that's worth having. And the other thing that's happened is fine, the Forkbeard has died, this mental old Viking who's always wanted an invasion and kind of got given one because he fell out with Ethelred and St. Brice's Day Massacre, but nobody else really wants this. Nobody else has ever really wanted this. Nobody has ever wanted to run England, no Viking. But Canute is Svein's son. Now Canute is about 20 and he's young and he's fit. He's also extremely clever. He's possibly one of the most cleverest kings that this country has ever had, because we've had some really duff kings. And there's records of him showing quite serious judgment. And I think there are accounts which suggest that he was asked to take over from Ethelred. And, you know, whatever the reality might be, Emma decides to marry Canute. And then all of a sudden, Edmund Ironside is dead. And all this rejuvenated Wessex house and all this rejuvenated Wessex power resides with Emma. And she marries Canute. And she marries Canute with the image of the Wessex Queen. And she thinks she's a Norman through and through. And all of a sudden, she's the first queen and the last queen in British history, where her power comes from the fact that she has authority to influence the king himself. And actually, it would be in our national interest for her to override him if possible. This has never happened, ever, since. So she marries Canute. Now, she wants everybody to believe that this is a young, hot, heavy king, but Canute has already got a wife, a Gilfu of Northampton. Now, a Gilfu already has children, and these are in line to her throne.